Hello geeks and ghouls, and welcome back to the channel. If you're a fan of horror toys and collectibles like myself, especially those from the guys over at NECA, then I've got a killer video in store for you today. So last weekend was the annual San Diego Comic-Con. We got some incredible horror collectible announcements from various companies, including of course NECA. And like every year, NECA absolutely killed it. From upcoming Ultimate figures to life-size prop replicas and a whole bunch of spooktacular brand new reveals in between, the company unveiled a big collection of must-haves for horror collectors. And in today's video, I'm breaking down all the horror goodness showcased by NECA at San Diego Comic-Con, diving into all the details and sharing my thoughts and feelings with you guys. So grab a snack, sit back, and let's dive into all the terrifyingly awesome NECA reveals from this year's Comic-Con. So let's kick things off with this year's convention exclusives, starting with the Ultimate Child's Play 3 Surf's Up Chucky figure that is actually inspired by an unused concept poster made for the third installment of the Child's Play franchise. And if you haven't seen these art concepts before, check them out, some of them are priceless. As you can see, Chucky is sporting his good guy shorts, sandals and armbands, and is equipped with a pair of sunglasses, a fabric towel which features a really cool design, and a bottle of good guy's sun lotion to ensure he doesn't get a sunburn. Remember, Chucky is a ginger after all. I know the pain. Additionally, Chucky comes with a total of 2 heads depicting magnificent sculpts, and finally a surfboard diorama piece that attaches to an included wave base piece for Chucky to be displayed on. I also love the little detail of Chucky's voodoo knife coming out of the board. That's a really nice touch. The box itself features some stunning artwork created by the incredibly talented 𝙁𝙊𝙍𝙍, and overall this is a pretty sweet and fun figure for our favourite killer doll. The only downside is that this is a convention exclusive, so he's going to be very hard to get hold of down the line. Also, considering that Child's Play 3 is set primarily at a military academy, I'm not exactly sure what prompted the artist to depict Chucky as a surfer dude, but he'd fit in great alongside Batman and the Joker for a day out at the beach. Speaking of Chucky, NECA also showcased their previously announced life-size Chucky and Tiffany dolls from the Chucky TV series for the first time at the convention. And I know that some people aren't a big fan of how these guys are looking, but I think they look great. Then again, I only saw the first season of the Chucky TV show because, to tell you the truth, I wasn't really a big fan of it myself. So I'm not really familiar enough with the screen-used dolls that appear in the show to give a fair comparison to what NECA has produced here. Although I will say that the fabrication of the clothing looks great, as does the sculpting work and the paint applications. For all the Chucky TV show fans out there, let me know your thoughts and feelings on this doll in the comments below. So the second exclusive collectible unveiled at San Diego Comic-Con is this glow-in-the-dark Bride of Frankenstein figure, which is the newest addition to NECA's glow-in-the-dark Universal Monsters line, inspired by the original Remco toys from the 1980s. And much like the previous releases in this line, the Bride will come in a retro-style blister card that follows the same design of the classic Remco packaging. And it's very fitting for this to be one of the exclusives this year, as 2025 actually marks the 90-year anniversary of Bride of Frankenstein. And I have to say, I love NECA's design choice of giving this figure a retro-style cape, similar to those seen with the action figures of the time. And the final Comic-Con exclusive showcased by NECA this year is the Ben Cooper Kids Tiki Terror figure. This newest announcement for the Ben Cooper collection, which is based on the popular kids' Halloween costumes manufactured from the 1950s through to the 80s, features a trick-or-treater in a spooky tiki-style costume. I really like the design of this guy, especially his frightful tiki mask and trick-or-treat bag, and the figure itself comes in a vintage-inspired box that pays homage to the Ben Cooper company. When you put this alongside the Surf's Up Chucky, this year's San Diego Comic-Con has carried a sort of summery beach theme for NECA. And once again, these collectibles were only available for purchase at the convention, so if you guys are after adding any of these to your collections, I wish you the best of luck tracking them down. Moving on now from the convention exclusives, we might as well keep with the Ben Cooper Kids theme and check out what else NECA had to reveal for the line, and that consisted of Series 8 and Series 9. As you can see, Series 8 definitely has a strong 1980s pop culture theme, as we have figures sporting Halloween costumes based on Garfield, Elf, Pee-wee Herman and the Predator. And besides the Predator costume, all of these are faithful recreations of real Ben Cooper costumes that were around in the 80s. And NECA have done a stellar job replicating these, and it could just be me, but there's something really unsettling about that Garfield mask. And then we have Series 9, which is especially cool as this wave is a reimagining of legendary horror icons in the Ben Cooper Halloween costume style. Featuring original designs by NECA, Series 9 includes Pennywise, Leatherface, Art the Clown, Michael Myers, and Billy the Puppet. I love what NECA have done here with this spin on these horror legends, and I especially appreciate how the Michael Myers figure comes with a Halloween 2 poster pumpkin pail instead of the candy bags. That is such a neat detail. And despite not being a collector of these guys myself, I always have an appreciation for how charming the Ben Cooper line is. And overall, these new series look great. Both Series 8 and 9 are expected to start shipping near the end of this year. And now for something newly announced from NECA's recently acquired Terrifier license. We've got the brand new Art the Clown head knocker. This blood-soaked bobblehead of the psychotic killer clown stands over 8 inches tall, features a spring mechanism in the neck, and stands upon a display base. And this won't be the only Art the Clown collectible we'll be taking a look at today. And next up we have another brand new reveal for Comic-Con, with NECA's upcoming Classic Movie Monsters line. Based on the original Classic Movie Monsters figure line produced by Imperial Toys back in the 1980s, this throwback collection of horror misfits includes the Mummy, Frankenstein, Dracula, and the Wolfman, all of who are extremely faithful replicas of the original 1986 toys. The blister card packaging is identical in near enough every way to the originals, from the artwork to the lettering, and even Dracula comes in the same stance he did originally, with his arms thrown up in the air. However, NECA have given these guys an upgrade by producing them with ultimate figure style articulation. I love that nostalgic and vintage aesthetic to these figures, and I'm very much inclined to pick these guys up for my own horror collection. This line is currently scheduled for release at the start of 2026. I mentioned earlier how this year is the 90-year anniversary of The Bride of Frankenstein, but the year 2025 has also marked another important milestone in horror history and cinema history as a whole. Of course, I'm talking about the 50th anniversary of Steven Spielberg's Jaws. So it was no surprise that NECA had something in store for us at San Diego Comic-Con, as joining NECA's poster series is Bruce the Shark himself in this extremely cool display piece replicating the iconic poster artwork. Sculpted in fine detail to look identical to the Mako shark used as artist Roger Castell's model for the poster, the shark features an articulated jaw that you can fit your Quint action figure in if you do so wish, and comes in a window box recreating that classic artwork. To my knowledge, this is the first time any company has made a collectible based on the Mako shark featured on the Jaws poster, and I think this is a great way to honour and pay tribute to this 1975 masterpiece. This collectible is expected to start shipping by the end of this year. Now then, I think it's about time we move on to the good stuff and take a look at the brand new reveals of upcoming horror action figures showcased by NECA at Comic-Con. And for all you guys who live in the UK like myself, I will put a link in the description below to the Mad About Horror website, the UK and Europe's leading retailer in all things horror collectibles, and the place where you guys can get your hands on a lot of these upcoming figures. In fact, some of them are up for pre-order right now, so make sure you head over there and you don't miss out. And let's kick things off with the icon of Halloween and one of horror's all-time greatest slasher villains, Ghostface, who is once again receiving the retro cloth treatment with this 8-inch figure release. Despite getting not one but 2 retro-style Ghostface figures from NECA in the past, this guy is a completely brand new figure featuring swappable masks in different designs, a new tailored cloth robe, and a set of new accessories, including multiple knives and his voice changer. The box art that Ghostface will be coming in also looks spectacular, but it doesn't end there.
But wait! There's more!
As Ghostface is getting not just 1, but 2 brand new figures from NECA. As also on display at Comic-Con was the upcoming Ultimate Ghostface Returns figure. Unlike the previously released Ghostface Inferno figure, this new Ultimate Ghostface is sporting a completely closed robe and comes with a whole selection of different mask variants. But of course, the highlight of this figure is without a doubt the scary movie Was Up face. That is f***ing glorious. The tongue-in-cheek Comey hand that you can pose this guy with is also genius. Both figures of Ghostface are expected to be released sometime in early 2026. And speaking again of horror anniversaries this year, NECA also revealed that they will be celebrating 20 years of Rob Zombie's The Devil's Rejects, with 2 new figures of Baby Firefly and Tiny. Now for you die-hard horror collectors and NECA nerds out there, you may actually recognize these figures as they were originally released all the way back in 2005 2005 and 2006 during the cult classics era of collectibles. The baby Firefly looks to be the same one from the original Bloody Showdown triple pack, and Tiny had his own solo release. But despite these being reissues, it looks as though they have received some much needed modern upgrades in both paint application and the sculpting. Baby in particular seems to have a completely new head sculpt, or simply a much better paint job, whereas Tiny hasn't changed all that much when comparing him to his original 2005 release. In recent times, NECA have reissued a couple of figures for House of 1,000 Corpses, and now the Devil's Rejects is getting the same treatment. Although it doesn't beat getting brand new figures from the ground up, it's still great to see that the anniversary is being celebrated. Both figures come with accessories including a handgun, shotgun, and a burlap sack mask, and are set to release later on this year. So getting back to all new horror figure announcements, NECA revealed 2 upcoming Ultimate figures of Grandpa and Herman Munster as seen in the classic Munsters TV show from the 60s, and these 2 look phenomenal. The sculpting work on the head sculpts that these figures come with is absolutely unreal, with stellar paint jobs to match, and in true NECA fashion, the sheer amount of extra accessories these guys come with is crazy. Starting with Grandpa Munster, the beloved vampire comes with 3 interchangeable heads, multiple hands, a selection of different potions, a shovel, and a cloth cape to complete his signature look. As for Herman, this iconic character comes with, again, 3 interchangeable heads, multiple hands, a napkin, a plate of pancakes, a knife and fork, a lunchbox, a small toy Herman, and a bendable iron bar. Both figures are expected to start shipping at the back end of 2025. So next up, we've got some extremely exciting new announcements for the 𝙂𝙊𝙐𝙍𝙍 himself, Beetlejuice. So let's begin with the figure that is easily one of my favourite Comic-Con reveals from NECA this year, Ultimate Bob. So many horror collectors and Beetlejuice fans, myself included, were hoping for this figure to become a reality since NECA started their new Beetlejuice collection, and they have followed through and delivered. But not only that, this figure is actually a 3-in-1, as this release comes with 3 interchangeable head sculpts, 3 sets of hands, and swappable name tags and tie sections to switch between Bob, Jeff, and Dave, Beetlejuice's other afterlife assistants. Of course, if you'd like to have 3 variations of this beloved character at once, you will need to purchase 3 sets of figures. But it's cool that NECA have included these accessories to make for different display options. The figure itself looks incredible and features some extremely detailed sculpting work, especially on those shrunken heads, and some fantastic paint applications to match. Bob is set to start hitting store shelves at the end of this year. However, that wasn't all that NECA had to announce for Beetlejuice at Comic-Con this year, and this next collectible is one of my favourites of all the reveals, the Ultimate Matador Beetlejuice and Sandworm double pack. Based on the final scene of the recent sequel, this upcoming figure depicts the 𝙂𝙊𝙐𝙍 in full Matador attire, featuring stunning attention to detail in the sculpt and paint application, also coming complete with a fabric cape and an interchangeable faceplate. But what truly steals the show here and takes this new release to the next level is this magnificent Sandworm display piece. Standing at over 1 feet tall, the monstrous Tim Burton creature features articulated heads, inner and outer jaws, and opposable tongue, and stands on top of a church floor display base. And it's got to be said that NECA has nailed it when it comes to the sculpting and paint application on this thing, as it looks identical to the iconic stop motion puppet, almost as if it was ripped right off the set of the new movie. Even though the Matador Beetlejuice is an extremely cool figure, this double pack is without question a must-have just for that sandworm alone. This statuette would make for a crowning jewel on any collector's Beetlejuice shelf, and an overall spectacular display piece within any horror collection. Moving on now from Beetlejuice, NECA announced their plans of producing collectibles for the upcoming TV series 𝙂𝙊𝙐𝙍 Welcome to Derry by revealing a brand new figure of Pennywise the Dancing Clown. Much like the previously released Ultimate figures, this new collectible perfectly captures the likeness of Bill Skarsgård as he appears in the role of horror's most legendary killer clown. Although details on this guy are pretty scarce since everything is still very secretive in regards to the new show, we can see that Pennywise will come with a total of 4 highly detailed head sculpts. However, there are no known accessories at this time, time, as none were put on display at Comic-Con, and no release date has been announced. But I imagine NECA have hopes to get this guy out on store shelves to coincide with the premiere of the much anticipated show's first season this October. So now we've got a whole bunch of upcoming figures for some of horror's most legendary icons, starting with the newly announced Ultimate Jason Voorhees figure, based on the design created by special effects legend Tom Savini for 2017's Friday the 13th The Game. This is the first Jason collectible we've got from NECA since they announced their partnership with Jason Universe, and also the first collectible based on the video game itself. Being Savini's interpretation of how Jason may have appeared after the conclusion of 1993's Jason Goes to Hell, this demonic rendition of the hockey mask wearing psychopath is nothing less than badass. From the hellish orange glow of Jason's battle wounds to the imposing deadly trident and the light up eyes functionality, this figure is just epic. As of right now, there is no set release date for this guy, but NECA have announced that more Jason figures are on the way. And in addition to the Killer of Crystal Lake, NECA showcased all of their brand new Michael Myers Ultimate figures, including the recently released Halloween 6 and newly revealed Halloween H2O and Halloween Resurrection releases. So let's start with Michael as he appears in 1998's Halloween H2O, or Halloween H20, which as a kid was one of my favourite entries into the franchise, and in fact it probably still is. And the first thing that I noticed about this new figure was that NECA included 3 interchangeable head sculpts, all of which look slightly different. Now for those who don't know, Halloween H2O infamously used a number of different masks during production, all of which were slightly strange looking for one reason or another, including a mask made by KMB Effects, the principal mask made by Stan Winston, and this bizarre and f***ing hideous CGI mask that was used in one scene that looks utter dog shit. But it's so cool that NECA have included all 3 with this release. But honestly, I wouldn't expect anything less from a NECA Ultimate, and the company always hits the ball out of the park when it comes to Michael Myers. And I also love how they've used this weird shading to replicate the CGI mask. And when it comes to accessories, Michael is equipped with 2 kitchen knives, a bloodied roller skate, a fire axe, and a pumpkin, which is pretty much essential at this point. And as for the newly revealed Halloween Resurrection figure, despite the movie being one of the more unfavourable ones, to put it lightly, NECA have gone ahead and made this guy a reality. And to give credit where credit is due, they've once again nailed it. This figure of Michael will include a total of 2 heads, the standard mask, which is once again very accurately sculpted, and a highly detailed charred mask from the film's finale. And in terms of accessories, Michael will come with a kitchen knife, a bloodied camera tripod, Laurie's Raggedy Ann doll, and you guessed it, a pumpkin. Now all we're missing is an ultimate Busta Rhymes.
Trick or treat, motherfucker.
As it stands, the Halloween Resurrection figure does not yet have a release date, but the H20 Michael is set to release later on this year, most likely around Halloween. It's an extremely exciting time for fans of the Halloween franchise, with NECA's return to putting out as many new figures of the Boogeyman as they can, and I'm certain that more Ultimate figures are on the way to complete the line. Hopefully, including Michael from Halloween 4 and 5, and of course an Ultimate Michael Myers from the original 1978 John Carpenter classic. So that brings us to what is, in my opinion, not only the most exciting Ultimate figure reveal from NECA, but what I think may be the best horror figure of the year. Now if you've enjoyed today's video and you love all things horror and all things horror collecting, make sure that you slash that subscribe button. Also don't forget to leave a like on the video and drop a comment down below telling me which of these figures is your guys' favourites and which ones are coming home with you to join your own horror collections. So the final figure of today's video is the one that everybody's been waiting for. The ultimate Art the Clown figure from Terrifier. This modern horror icon has finally slashed his way into NECA's Ultimate line and looks fucking unbelievable. I mean, just look at how many accessories and extras this guy is coming with. A truly ultimate figure in every meaning of the word. Taking a look at the figure of Art himself, NECA have just killed it with the sculpting work of this character and all of the interchangeable faceplates that capture the many insane expressions of the killer clown. When it comes to accessories, of which are seemingly endless, we have multiple knives, cleavers, a hammer, a machete, a whip with various torture tools attached, that infamous hacksaw, a drill, a handgun, various scalpels, the little doll, and his plastic bin bag that he uses to carry his arsenal around with. Now unfortunately, NECA did not showcase the Ultimate Terrifier 3 Santa Art figure at San Diego Comic-Con for one reason or another, so we don't currently have any updates for that guy, but they did however reveal reveal a completely new blood-soaked Ultimate Art the Clown figure that looks super gory and will include some gnarly accessories such as a decapitated carved out head and a brain. As it stands, the Ultimate Art the Clown figure is set to release at the end of the year, but he could not come soon enough. Like I said, he is my must-have horror figure of this year. So that concludes today's video. There's certainly a lot of exciting stuff on the way from NECA, and I hope that you guys have enjoyed the San Diego Comic-Con recap. Don't forget to tell me all your thoughts and feelings on these upcoming collectibles in the comments below, and until next time guys, take care.